אני ואתה נשנה את העולם. אני ואתה, אז יבואו כבר כולם. אמרו את זה קודם לפניי, לא משנה. אני ואתה נשנה את העולם. אני ואתה ננסה מההתחלה.
Good evening. I'm Naomi Colton-Max, co-chair of New Jewish Narrative. I'm thrilled to be here tonight with my co-chair and colleague Tom Feldman, and with all of you, marking the launch of our newly merged organization. Tom and I will be with you all evening as we guide you through the program and introduce you to our wonderful speakers, guests, and honorees.
And I'm Tom Feldman, co-chair with Naomi of New Jewish Narrative. I'm delighted to be here with you as we embrace a future of peace building and progressive communal engagement together. And Naomi, at the outset, I just wanted to let you know how much I've enjoyed working with you these past few months. I'm so impressed with the talent, leadership, and energy you bring to the table.
Thank you, Tom, and I really feel the same way. In addition, it is lovely that we're becoming fast friends, and that is not just because we seem to be agreeing on our approach as we build this exciting new organization. Please note that this evening's program is being recorded, and we'll be sharing the recording with everyone once it is available. Before we talk more about the New Jewish Narrative, we thought it would be appropriate to bring our friend David Broza to start us off with a song. A peace event would not be the same without David's moving music. He has been a committed activist his entire career, using music as an urgent call to peace.
David Broza is truly a gift to all of us. We are grateful for his music, his activism, and his giant heart. Friends, joining us this evening, the wonderful David Broza.
For the New Jewish Narrative, I'd like to dedicate this song, which after all these years, where I've been singing it almost daily, every day seems to be more of a challenge, however, more relevant, and especially with this organization coming together. So this is for you.
האביב חלף עברנו, מי יודע אם ישוב. הליצן היה למלך, הנביא נהיה ליצן, ושכחתי את הדרך. אבל אני עוד כאן, ויהיה טוב, יהיה טוב, כן. לפעמים אני נשבע. אז הלילה, הלילה, כך אני נשאר. ילדים לובשים כנפיים ועפים אל הצבא, ואחרי שנתיים הם חוזרים ללא תשובה. אנשים חיים במתח, מחפשים סיבה לנשום, ועם שנאה לרצח מדברים על השלום. ויהיה טוב, יהיה טוב, כן. לפעמים אני נשבע. אז הלילה, שם למעלה בשמיים עננים לומדים לעוף, ואני מביט למעלה ורואה מטוס חטוף. ממשלה של גנרלים מחלקת את הנוף לשלהם ולשלנו. מתי נראה את הסוף?
while I'm here in Tel Aviv, trying to be as hopeful and positive as possible. And this song certainly does bring in that spirit. Things will be better. They will be better. This is what we're fighting for. Just for things to be better. As this last verse says, I'm looking out the window to see if all this is real. I'm looking out the window and I'm mumbling my prayer that the lion and the lamb will lie together. But until then, just hold on to me. Don't let my hand go. Keep my hand in yours. אני מביט מהחלום לראות אם כל זה אמיתי. אני מביט מהחלום וממלמל את תפילתי. עוד נגור זאב עם כבש ונמר ירבץ צמדי, אך בינתיים אל תוציא את ידך מכף ידי. כי יהיה טוב, אוי יהיה טוב, כן. לפעמים אני נשבע, אז הלילה, הלילה, איתך אני נשאר. אני מביט מהחלום, אולי מגיע יום חדש. A new day is coming, I hope. With a new Jewish narrative.
Thank you, David. We're by your side as we strive for that peaceful day to come. Now, Tom and I want to officially welcome you to join us as Ameinu and APN come together as New Jewish Narrative.
Bringing together our two organizations has taken months of hard work, conversations, and commitment to a better future. Naomi and I and all of our board and staff members are so proud to be here tonight as New Jewish Narrative. But we also want to honor the legacies of APN and Ameinu and the work both organizations have been doing for decades. There isn't enough time to do justice to the full story, but we've put together a short video that reminds us of where we've been and where we're heading.
Our hope in merging with Americans for Peace Now is that 2 + 2 will equal 5.
It's a difficult time right now. It's a difficult time for anybody who cares about Israel, about Palestine, about peace and justice in the Middle East.
I think American Jews are struggling with how to define their identity vis-a-vis their American neighbors and Israel.
A belief that the Israel, particularly that we're experiencing now, is not what I believe Israel to be, what Israel was envisioned to be.
And as American Jewish organizations, we know our community is also faced with very real concerns about anti-Semitism.
There are many, many Israelis who also oppose the current government policies and want to make sure that there are American Jews that have their back.
And I think it is especially in moments like this that organizations like APN and like Ameinu are so essential.
We've come together and are writing a new narrative for a new day. We have come together to reimagine our possibilities and reaffirm our commitments. We are building on powerful legacies. We are building something new.
Before it was called Ameinu, it was called Labor Zionist Alliance. The Labor Zionist movement was the movement that created the State of Israel. David Ben-Gurion was its leader and became the first prime minister of the State of Israel.
We go back then, and even before, we go back to the first Zionist Congress that was held in Basel with Herzl.
And after the establishment in 1948, very involved to really bring the Jewish community on board to support our vision of Israel. The Labor Zionist Alliance had gotten old and out of touch with the needs of younger American Jews.
Really something that belonged to the 20th century and not the 21st. So Ameinu was chosen.
Ameinu means our people. This was actually a very conscious decision to have both a Hebrew name and one that was inviting to Jews who agreed with our point of view.
Habonim Dror is the youth movement of what we do. Habonim Dror runs 6 camps in North America. We run trips to Israel as well, and a year program in Israel. And what I'm always proud of is that it's youth run. We punch way beyond our weight, both as a youth movement, and we do the same thing in Ameinu.
Ameinu succeeded in establishing this notion that you can be Zionist, pro-Israel, and have a clear view of an Israel that may not align particularly with the Israeli government. And that's why we can be a home for those Jews who are very supportive of Israel's right to exist, but on the other hand, reject an extremist messianic Israeli government.
It was Sally who went to Mark, and Sally representing Shalom Akshav and asking him if he would put something together in the States.
I helped start with a number of very talented people, much more talented than me, to have a chapter in New York City of Peace Now.
There was no right to dissent against Israel in the American Jewish community.
It was building a community of people that could fund, that could be fun, that could be knowledgeable, and spread the news about what was really happening in Israel.
We were believers that there had to be peace between the Israelis and the Palestinians, and you had to talk to your enemy.
It was the first American Jewish group focused on peace.
We need to make receptivity among the people. And that's what I think Peace Now does so brilliantly. Not just through demonstrations, through dialogue, through education, through working with legislators.
Over 4+ decades, it has grown and developed into really a vibrant American Jewish organization working for peace.
And this is the time when we either can get peace or we can't. And so that's why we're pressuring our own government, as well as Israelis.
And a really key thing about everything around APN is our connection to Shalom Akshav and the fact that we are rooted in that relationship and rooted in the reality on the ground in Israel.
It's at the heart of the geopolitical issue. And if the heart's bad, it's not going to be very successful.
For me, this feels like the most natural thing in the world. Bringing together these proud legacies into the new organization and showing the American Jewish community and our partners and friends and allies out there that there is a new voice, there is a new narrative.
New Jewish narrative is going to provide that kind of vital support that our colleagues in Israel need at this very moment.
We're talking about Ameinu's Jewish communal focused world and APN's much more Washington and policy-based world.
We not only bring together the strengths of the two organizations, but that other people will now join the combined organization.
The team we have, the staff, the board leaderships from APN and from Ameinu really are an incredible range of leaders. We think we can be stronger together. We think we can be better together, and we think we can have more impact on the things that we care about together.
We are New Jewish Narrative, committed to shaping a future where values of democracy, equality, and peace guide us all.
Wow, that was a lot of history to fit into 6 minutes. What an inspiring way to kickstart our new work. And here to launch us into the future with New Jewish Narrative is my longtime friend, colleague, and once fellow Ameinu board member, Hadar Suskind.
I'm also pleased to help introduce Hadar. We've been working together at APN since he arrived almost 5 years ago. I'm so proud of where we've been and where we're going. Hadar?
Thank you, Tom. Thank you, Nomi. It is a true pleasure to be here with both of you tonight. And hello to all of our friends who've joined us from across the United States, from Canada, from Israel, and from who knows where else. You know, being here tonight, celebrating together as New Jewish Narrative is in many ways a new beginning, as we've been discussing. But it's also the culmination of a long process that deserves at least a little bit of story time. We started discussing this idea of bringing together APN and Ameinu actually well over a year ago. It started out with some conversations I had with the board chairs of then the two organizations, with Jim Klutznick from APN and Ken Bob from Ameinu. We had a few quick conversations. Does this make sense? Do we feel aligned in terms of our ideology, our policies, our programs, the places we show up in our communities, what we want to see for our country? And we had these conversations and we said, you know, this is really interesting. This is really worth thinking about. And then we opened those up a little bit and we brought in other leaders like Nomi and Tom and other board members and talked about it more, went through these processes because it's a big moment. It's a big deal for our organization to do this. And we were ready, we were moving forward and, you know, getting ready to take it to the full boards for these conversations. And, you know, before I keep going, I would just want to take a moment now and thank actually both Ken and Jim, not only for working with me and working with the boards to make this merger happen, but even more so for their many, many years of leaderships and their commitment to working for peace, their commitment to fighting for justice. I and we would very literally not be here tonight without you. So thank you, Jim. Thank you, Ken. You know, as we kept going with those conversations, I was ready to do something I don't do that often, actually, which was reach out to my board on a Sunday morning and say to everybody, okay, we're having these conversations. We're going to move this forward. We're excited about this process. I'd written a long email. It was scheduled to go. I was ready to start making phone calls. That date was October 8th, 2023. And as you can imagine, I did not send that email and I did not make those phone calls because the day before that, our world changed. And our world changed in a way that has created for all of us, you know, probably the most difficult 14 months in our collective professional and personal lifetimes. So many of us lost family, lost friends on October 7th, those who were taken to Gaza afterwards, and continue to just deal with the sadness, the anger, and the loss of that, as well as the horror of what's happened since then. You know, Vivian Silver, Hirsch Goldberg, Poland, those are people that even if you didn't know them, even if you didn't know their families, if you didn't know their names before, you certainly do now, and they are still with us in our hearts. So I wanted to name them, and I wanted to just say, for those of you who have asked yourselves, or asked me, as many of you have, why did this process take so long? The process took this period of time for two reasons. One is because it's important and we wanted to get it right. And we wanted to make sure this was the right move for us as organizations, for us as a community of people. And we were trying to do all this work through what is, like I said, an incredibly, incredibly difficult time and difficult year. So again, I just want to thank Ken and Jim. I want to thank Nomi and Tom, the people on the boards who served on the transition committees, and the entire boards for doing what very, very few organizational leaders do, which is really putting ego aside, putting organizational inertia aside, and saying, as I think Nomi and Tom were saying previously, we care about making an impact on the things that are important to us, on fighting for peace, on showing up strongly in our community, and being a voice for justice, for equality, for a progressive Israel. We care about these things and we can do them better together. And that's why we have come together as New Jewish Narrative. I want to tell you a little bit more about what that is and what we're going to be doing. You've heard some already in that video we just watched, and you'll hear more from more of our partners like Habonim and Project Rosanna and Shalom Achshav. I'm very excited for that. One of the things that is so amazing about this is the synergy that we have come together as New Jewish Narrative, adding policy work, adding community engagement, bringing in partners on the ground in Israel, in Palestine, here in the US, to really create something, as Sam said in that video, where hopefully 2 + 2 is going to equal 5. We are building something together. So far, it's been bringing together our staffs, bringing together our board, bringing together our partners. We are so excited to be bringing all of you together because this is, as our dear friends in Hamilton said, not a moment, it is a movement. And you people are the movement. So we can't do this without you. We are so excited to all be here together. Again, you're going to hear more from more of our partners, but right now I have the honor of introducing one of them, the longtime partner of APN and continued partner of ours here at New Jewish Narrative, our friends at Shalom Achshav. We're going to hear from my friend and colleague Lior Amichai, who is their executive director. So with that, I am so excited again just to be here with you, to thank you all, to be in this partnership with you, and take it away, Lior.
Hi, Shalom. My name is Lior Amichai, and I'm the director of Peace Now, Shalom Achshav, in Israel. As we gather today to launch the New Jewish Narrative, we do so in a moment of profound significance. The challenges of war, occupation, and the widespread sorrow that touches so many remind us of the weight of our mission. In these difficult times, our celebration is not about joy alone, but about resolve, renewing our commitment to the values that guide us: peace, justice, and dignity for all. For decades, Shalom Achshav and Americans for Peace Now have walked together, united by a vision of a just two-state solution for Israelis and Palestinians. We have faced numerous obstacles, celebrated some victories, and built a legacy of partnership that stands as a testament to the power of unity in pursuit of what is right. We are in a dark moment, perhaps confronting the most challenging obstacles we have ever encountered. Yet we know that despair is not an option, and our struggle continues. Today, with Ameinu joining our effort under the banner of New Jewish Narrative, we honor our past while looking forward with renewed energy and purpose. This is not merely a continuation of our work, but a revitalization of our mission. In these challenging times, with political leadership in both the United States and Israel that seems increasingly distant from our values, our coming together signals a critical commitment. We must always be creative, try new ideas, join forces, and think outside of the box. Our current reality does not discourage us. It makes our work more crucial than ever. We're committed to making peace possible again, to amplifying voices that seek understanding, and to strengthening our ability to create meaningful change. We will continue to push for a future where peace, security, and freedom are realities for both Israelis and Palestinians. As we move forward, let us do so with conviction and strength, with unity, and with the unshakable belief that the reality we dream of, a reality of justice, peace, security, is one we will continue to work towards, side by side, as the New Jewish Narrative and Shalom Achshav. Toda Rabba, thank you, and good luck.
Amen. V'toda Lior. As a founding member of the Canadians for Peace Now chapter when I was a teenager in Canada, a lifetime ago, I'm delighted to be combining all of our work together and getting to know you. Now I have the chance to introduce you to Orly Matlow, a wonderful young writer and comedian whom I first got to see last June at our event in New York. Among her many accomplishments, Orly created and hosted the cabaret Send in the Clowns, Comedians Sing Sondheim at Caveat, which was a comedy pick in the New York Times. Orly is a passionate advocate for peace, and we're delighted to have her here as part of the New Jewish Narrative family.
I'm Orly Matlow. I'm a stand-up comedian, and I had the honor of performing at the Americans for Peace Now Ameinu Gala back in June, where Mandy Patinkin, singing Somewhere Over the Rainbow in Yiddish, was my opener. Mandy Patinkin is an impossible act to follow, which is why in Sunday in the Park with George, he plays his own great-grandson in Act 2. It was the honor of my life to have one of my punchlines preempted by Mandy Patinkin. I talked about how crucial it is to have spaces where we can emphatically use the C word, ceasefire, because we need to do better than a politics of revenge. Being powered by revenge only worked for Inigo Montoya, and I found out that night that he was a fictional character, and the actor who played him made the same point. I was asked to make a video for this virtual gala last month, and I kept pushing it off, in hopes that the news would be better. But alas, it has gotten even worse. And I know correlation doesn't necessarily equal causation, but I am so sorry if my procrastination got Trump reelected. This issue is personal to me. As a Jewish person with a Hebrew name, Orly means my light, which is a lot of pressure. And Israel is my Florida. My grandpa lives there half the year, and my cousins live there year round, and they are surrounded by religious extremists with guns. They are Israeli Jews protesting their government in Tel Aviv and Jerusalem, which here in the United States, institutions call them anti-Semites. I've been called slurs and nasty, unpublishable things for protesting for a ceasefire, both in New York and in Washington, D.C. with the Peace Bloc back in July. That was a very powerful, meaningful day. This past year, it upset me to see the campus protests about divesting from weapons manufacturers portrayed as anti-Semitic, despite the many Jewish students who participate in them. My Judaism is peace now. In my Judaism, there is nothing Jewish about weapons manufacturing. I was not bat mitzvahed at Lockheed Martin. I did not grow up going to Elbit Systems every Saturday with my family. Raytheon is not my cousin. My cousins are my cousins. And I hate to see them and their children, these adorable 5 and 3-year-old little boys, conscripted into forever wars. We have so much work to do, and I am grateful to be a part of this community that is doing it. Yalla.
Thanks, Orly. It was great to see you in New York last June, and we just love having you as part of our new family at New Jewish Narrative. Shifting gears here, let's speak about another passionate advocate for peace. I have the great honor to welcome Aziz Abu Sara. Aziz founded Mejdi Tours, the originator of the dual narrative tour of Israel and Palestine. In addition, Aziz and his partner in the peace movement, Maoz Inon, have been traveling around the world this past year, speaking out against the Gaza war and for a peaceful resolution. A Palestinian and a Jew who have both suffered enormous personal loss. Aziz and Maoz have captured the hearts and minds of thousands through their TED Talk. Their friendship and partnership is a model of what a new shared future can look like. I had the pleasure of traveling with Aziz 2 years ago with APN's first trip after the pandemic to Israel, which also included Palestine and Morocco. He's an inspiring tour leader, a great man. Aziz, we recognize how difficult things are on the ground in Israel and Palestine. Now more than ever, we thank you for being our partner in peace.
My name is Aziz Abu Sara. I'm the co-founder of Mejdi Tours and Interact International, and I'm here to just say I'm excited about the new merger between Americans for Peace Now and Ameinu. This merger sets an example for many of us in the peace movement that it is about working together and putting our resources together and creating a movement that is really able to change the reality for every Israeli and for every Palestinian back home, and for us Muslim, Christian, Jewish communities here in the United States. The new organization, the New Jewish Narrative, is an example that will do that. We've worked together before. I've worked a lot with Americans for Peace Now, and I look forward to work with the New Jewish Narrative, and I know it will be a success, and together we will make a totally new narrative, a narrative that's focused on peace and coexistence and caring and loving each other instead of fighting each other.
Shukran, Aziz. Both Tom and I look forward to the day when we can have a trip with you again soon. I now have the pleasure of introducing one of our partners and allies in the Jewish communal world. Sheila Katz is the CEO of National Council of Jewish Women, also known as NCJW. Sheila is a tireless advocate for a wide range of issues affecting those at the margins of society, including abortion rights and reproductive justice. NCJW has also been in the forefront of the fight to keep focus on the horrific sexual violence that took place on October 7th and not let it get pushed aside. And we have worked together on many, many occasions. Sheila.
Hi, I'm Sheila Katz, CEO of National Council of Jewish Women. Today, I want to take a moment to say Mazel Tov to Americans for Peace Now and Ameinu for coming together to form the new Jewish narrative. This merger marks a new and exciting chapter for Jewish leadership and activism. National Council of Jewish Women has been proud friends and partners of both Americans for Peace Now and Ameinu in the World Zionist Congress, in the Conference of Presidents of Major American Jewish Organizations, and out on the streets from Kaplan in Tel Aviv to the United Nations. We look forward to continuing that friendship and partnership with the new Jewish narrative. Your commitment to progressive values and the pursuit of peace for Israelis and Palestinians has been a guiding light for so many in our community, including me. We look forward to continuing our partnership and amplifying our shared commitment to justice, equity, dignity, and compassion. To everyone involved in this merger, thank you. Thank you for your courage, your leadership, and your dedication to what's possible. May this be the start of something extraordinary for the new Jewish narrative and for all of us. Congratulations.
Thanks, Sheila. I'm delighted to introduce Joshua Molina, a brilliant stage and screen actor, but most importantly, a board member of the New Jewish Narrative, peace activist, and social media maven. In fact, what a moment it was for me when he tweeted about me and our marching for Israeli democracy in the Israel Day Parade 18 months ago. Wow, what a whole different world that was. Josh, I cannot wait to work with you.
Hi everyone, Joshua Molina here, proud board member of the New Jewish Narrative. It is my pleasure and very easy task right now to introduce a friend of mine. It seems that over the past couple of years, the entire world has caught up with what I have long known about him, that he is a brilliant and funny writer, storyteller, actor, and stand-up. He's a Tony winner. He's an Emmy winner, but much more important than his status as big macher in showbiz, he is a wonderful person, a mensch gadol. And so without further ado, here is Alex Edelman to share a few words with us.
Hi, my name is Alex Edelman, and I am an optimist. And right now, it's hard to be one of those. And if you care about what's happening in Israel and Palestine, it's especially difficult to be an optimist. And that's why it's important to support any sort of work or organization that is interested in finding a solution for the future that offers dignity and safety to people in that part of the world. And it's really wonderful that these two organizations have merged to create an organization that is focused on that issue and looks forward with that sort of optimism. And good luck, guys. I mean, it's like a really easy thing. I'm sure you'll have it sorted out in no time. But yeah, Mazal Tov, Patzlacha, and yeah.
Thanks, Josh and Alex. Wow, I'm honored to be one of Josh Molina's colleagues on the board of NJN. And in addition to being a great social media maven, Josh is a great screen and stage actor. He just finished the first half of a successful run in London of Nathan Englander's What We Talk About When We Talk About Anne Frank. Josh is heading back to continue the show in January, and if you have a chance to see it, we hope you do. If you haven't had a chance to see Alex Edelman's brilliant show, Just for Us, make sure to look for it on Max. It's funny, frightening, and completely true to the political moment we find ourselves in. I'm sure Alex will continue to wow us with masterful and trenchant comedy for many years to come. Now I'm delighted to introduce another board colleague, Judy Gelman, who is going to offer an introduction to our Congressional Champion.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Judith Gelman, and I'm proud to be a member of the Board of Directors of New Jewish Narrative. I'm delighted to be here tonight with my colleagues and friends, Naomi, Tom, and Hadar, and with all of you as we launch this brave new organization with a mission that is close to my heart. I'm here tonight to introduce someone who many of you already know, either because, like me, you're one of his constituents, or because, like me, you watched his brilliant leadership and legal mind at work during the January 6th hearings, or because, like me, you have the extraordinary honor of calling him your friend. Jamie Raskin got into politics for the best of reasons, to improve the lives of ordinary people. My family, particularly my mother, Esther Gelman, Zichrona Livracha, and my father, Norman Gelman, were among his earliest supporters. From the time he decided to run for public office, Congressman Jamie Raskin has always strived to be the moral center of the Democratic Party, and he is that, and he is also so much more. He is a brilliant constitutional scholar, and many of you probably have one of the pocket constitution he hands out. He's a beloved professor. He is a powerful leader in Congress. Before that, he was a coalition builder in the Maryland Senate, where he untangled decades-long roadblocks to progressive legislation. His unique gift for bipartisan friendship and his clear vision and his skills at coalition building delivered a series of landmark accomplishments, including Maryland's marriage equality law. Jamie is also an author. His book, Unthinkable, is about American democracy in the wake of both the January 6th insurrection and also his grief over the tragic death of his son, Tommy, just 5 days earlier. Most of all, Jamie is a husband, a father, a grandfather, a good neighbor, and a true mensch. New Jewish Narrative is truly grateful to be able to honor one of our most steadfast friends, allies, and partners in Congress with our Congressional Champion Award. Jamie Raskin, we are grateful to you for all that you do to protect democracy and forge a path forward on the road to peace in the Middle East.
Hey, everybody. It's Jamie Raskin coming to you from Maryland's beautiful 8th District. I'm sorry I can't be with you on Thursday night because of pre-existing obligations, but I am so thrilled and honored to be part of this momentous occasion. I know that we are celebrating the merger of Americans for Peace Now and Ameinu into the brand new organization, New Jewish Narrative, and that's magnificent, and that's a great and auspicious day for peace and social justice and human rights and mutual security. So I'm thrilled because of that. Thank you to my beloved friend Judy Gelman for bestowing upon me this Congressional Champion of Justice Award for 2024, which is a very elevated title for an award. I don't think I completely deserve such an award, but I will work hard to live up to it. Thank you, Judy, for your sweet and kind words. I love you and Steve, your whole family. I love Sharon Gelman and Norman Gelman. I love all of you guys, and I miss your mom, Esther, every day, and nobody has been more important to me in my political career than Esther Gelman, and I have a very special place in my heart for her. Thank you to my beloved friend Hadar Susskind for inviting me to participate in launching this grand new enterprise of the new organization, the New Jewish Narrative. And I also want to salute everybody else who's being honored and recognized tonight. Some of the people I know, like my buddy Alex Edelman, the hilarious comedian and great actor from Boston, the Jerusalem Youth Chorus, which I've seen perform several times, the singer-songwriter David Broza, the comedian Orly Matlow, who I don't know, but I'm really looking forward to seeing, and of course, the greatly admired Israeli peacemaker and irrepressible activist Yonatan Zeigen. So congratulations To all of you, I'm looking forward to seeing you all at some point soon and working with you. And congratulations on this magnificent event, which forms a new organization committed to a progressive Israel where justice, human rights, equality, security for all, and peace will be the hallmark of a new era. And this is creative and nimble forward thinking on the part of all of you. Thank you for what you're doing to improve our prospects in a very tough and difficult time. I'm grateful for this award. I will work every day to try to live up to this award. I thank you for the recognition. I thank you for being there for me always with solidarity, encouragement, ideas, information, and wisdom. Thank you, Hadar, for everything you've done. I am grateful for your insight, your friendship, your leadership. And thank you to everybody there who is fighting strong for a world of peace and security and human rights for everybody. And I look forward to seeing everybody soon.
Thank you, Congressman Raskin, for all you have done to protect and preserve our democracy here in America and to stand up for Israel's as well. In these difficult times, your leadership is as important as ever. Now we're going to offer a moment of remembrance as we mark the passing of two of our beloved board members. This year we lost both Marty Taft, longtime Ameinu board member, and David Birnbaum, an APN board member for decades. Dan Fleshler, who has served on both boards and who now serves on the board of New Jewish Narrative, will share a short tribute to these great friends and supporters of our work.
I am Dan Fleshler, a former board member of both APN and Ameinu, and now a current board member of New Jewish Narrative. As we prepare for the future and mark the turning of a page with the launch of this new organization, we also look to the past, and we mourn the loss of two extraordinary leaders. Their longtime support of Ameinu and APN was part of the long legacy of our joint commitment to peace. This year, we lost David Birnbaum, a lawyer with a gentle and principled heart who had served on APN's board of directors for over 20 years. He cared deeply about peace, justice, and security for both Israelis and Palestinians, traveling with APN to the region many times to learn more about the facts on the ground and to bring back knowledge and experience that would help him be a stronger advocate. David was a fascinating guy, a renowned lawyer, scholar, and public servant, known for his groundbreaking work in international law and his influential role as U.S. Ambassador to the United Nations for UN Management and Reform. He was a longtime defender of democracy, a tireless advocate for human rights. As a partner at Fried Frank, Harris, Shriver & Jacobson, he specialized in international trade and investment law. But he took multiple leaves of absence to work on democratic campaigns and political assignments. David's passionate advocacy for civil rights was forged while growing up in Waterbury's Jewish community in the wake of World War II. One of his first cases involved representing Native American tribes seeking compensation for the unlawful seizure of tribal land. During the Clinton administration, David worked on proposals to reform the United Nations while building relationships with ambassadors from numerous countries. Beyond being a dedicated public servant, David cherished his family life, was an avid traveler, relished opera, and danced with his wife, the Honorable Vanessa Ruiz. He was also a passionate Nationals fan and voracious reader. We will miss David's intellect and quiet powers of persuasion. His presence on the APN board was a gift for all of us who knew and worked with him for many years. Then there's the inimitable, irreplaceable Marty Taft, who passed away this year at the age of 94. He was a lifelong labor Zionist, beginning in Brooklyn as a member of the Habonim youth movement and continuing through his local involvement in Los Angeles and his membership on the Ameinu National Board of Directors. His partner through all of these activities was Etty. They met at a Habonim meeting, and Marty proposed over a pastrami sandwich at Katz's Delicatessen. He was an unapologetic, open-hearted romantic. After earning multiple academic degrees at Brooklyn College, including a PhD in mechanical engineering, Marty, along with Etty, ended up in Southern California, where he had an eclectic career, which included the founding of Socioeconomic Systems, one of the companies that pioneered environmental impact reports. As an activist in the local chapter of the Labor Zionist Alliance, he created an annual educational forum called Frontiers of Learning, which hosted Israeli politicians, academics, journalists, and other intellectuals for in-depth political and social analysis. When the Labor Zionist Alliance became Ameinu, Marty and Etty both played a critical role as members of the National Board of Directors, helping the organization transition to a new model of operation and activity. In addition to his commitment to Israel, labor Zionism, and Tikkun Olam, Marty's interests included engineering, music, travel, woodworking, later in life, poetry, drawing, and, of course, magic. A proud member of the Magic Castle, he always had a deck of cards with him, ready to entertain at a moment's notice. An Ameinu board meeting was never complete without a break from serious deliberations provided by Marty and his magic tricks. He will be missed by family members, friends, and all who knew him.
Thank you, Dan, for those tributes. We're going to miss both Marty and David enormously. We now turn to one of our friends and allies in Israel. Yair Golan is the head of the Democrats, Hademokratim, the Israeli political party formed by the merger of Labor Party and Meretz. Yair.
חברות וחברים, I am pleased to congratulate Ameinu and American for Peace Now on your coming together to form a new organization, New Jewish Narrative. In these challenging times for Israel and world Jewry, more than ever, we need to unite forces to promote ideas and solutions based upon our ideological approach. In fact, this is very much in line with what we have done in Israel, where we have united the Labour Party, Meretz, and unaffiliated activists to form HaDemokratim Party. Our objective is clear. We are establishing a large and strong progressive force in order to replace the current extreme right-wing government and save our country. We need to concentrate all our energy in building hope, in bringing something good to the region, building something good with the rest of the democratic world. We look forward to a partnership between HaDemokratim and New Jewish Narrative as we develop relationships with the majority of American Jews and support our position on democracy, justice, and peace. תודה רבה ובהצלחה.
Thank you, Yair. We hope to see a new government and a brighter future soon. Tom and I want to talk a little bit about some of our other partners that we work with.
I'm excited and gratified that NJN will be bringing together the entirety of Ameinu and APN, including all the programs we've worked on and relationships we've built. This includes supporting our friends in the Palestinian village of Al-Walaja, whose homes face continuous threats of being demolished by the Israeli government.
Tom and I have both visited Al-Walaja and can attest to the frustration, suffering, and constant worry that affects its residents. Hassan Abutin, one of the village leaders, is here to offer us some words of allyship this evening. We're also deeply connected to Project Rosanna, the amazing healthcare workers who build bridges through enhancing Palestinian healthcare and fostering cross-border relationships between Israelis and Palestinians. And we will continue to partner with the extraordinary young people engaged with Habonim Dror, the progressive labor Zionist youth movement, which builds leaders who actualize the principles of social justice, equality, peace, and coexistence in Israel and North America. Finally, as you saw in the video earlier, Habonim Dror, the progressive Zionist labor youth movement, is an integral part of our work and our aim to develop Jewish leaders committed to Judaism, justice, and Israel.
Let's now hear from our friends, partners, and colleagues from Awalaja, Project Rosanna, and Habonim Dror.
مساء الخير لمؤسسة أمريكان فور بيس ناو ومؤسسة أمينو. مساء الخير مستر هدار. أنا حسن أبو التين، عضو في اللجنة التي أقامها السكان من أجل التقدم بمخطط هيكلي للقرية من القدس، من هنا من أرض السلام ومن قرية الولجة. أرسل لكم رسالة حب وتقدير والشكر على الدعم الكبير الذي قدمتموه لنا في قرية الولجة. نشكركم للمرة الثانية لهذا الدعم. كان هذا الدعم معنويا، وذلك بالتحدث مع أعضاء الكونغرس الأمريكي والحكومة الأمريكية والضغط من أجل الضغط على الحكومة الإسرائيلية لوقف عمليات الهدم، أو كان هذا الدعم ماديا، وذلك بالدعم السخي الذي قدمتموه لنا في قرية الولجة. فنحن نعلم أن أمريكان في بيس ناو ومؤسسة أمينو هم دائما يقفون مع الحق، مع العدل، مع السلام، ضد الظلم والتهجير واللا إنسانية والتمييز. فنشكركم مرة ثانية ونطلب منكم أن يستمر هذا الدعم لنا في قرية الولجة. نجاحنا في العمل المخطط الهيكلي وإيقاف عمليات الهدم هو ليس فقط نجاح لسكان قرية الولجة، بل هو نجاح لنا جميعا، نجاح لأمريكان فور بيس ناو وأمينو، مؤسسة أمينو، ونجاح لكل، ومعا سننجح. عندما تقومون بزيارة للقدس أن تقوموا زيارة قرية الولجة، فأنتم ضيوف مرحب بكم عندنا في قرية الولجة. كم أنتم أناس طيبون مميزون. نتمنى لكم دائما التقدم والازدهار، وشكرا لكم.
Our project aims to reach medical services, especially for the women, and this help women in poor communities and very far communities.
Because I am doctor gynecologist, I can speak with Sheba hospital doctors. It's very wonderful for me and for patients.
We see the patient, we see the monitor, we see the ultrasound, we see the urine dipstick, we see the vital signs. For us, it's a great opportunity to work together.
This program responds very well to the needs of psychologists who live in Gaza.
My biggest dream in this regard, after finishing from this program, we could help our people.
It feels like being in a bubble of something good that is happening here.
99% of Palestinians showed an increased professional skills and knowledge as a result of participating in the program. 100% of Israelis and Palestinians strongly agreed that they would keep in touch with physicians from the other side. These participants are really willing to continue working together.
He has two kinds of chemotherapy. The drivers, they all kind, they are good with Muhammad. I have one friend called Amy. Anytime we call her, she answers us. She's very kind. I love her.
I get to see them as people, and they get to see me as a person, and we get to understand that we're all not so different.
From the heart of Hebron, our biggest southern Palestinian city, a new pioneer rehabilitation hospital project is taking shape, where hope, innovation, and healing are going to come together to change lives and to draw smiles over the faces of thousands of needy patients in Palestine.
There's not a lot of doctors in Palestine that are specialized in ICU, so it was really important for me to come here.
I think the most important part of the Rosanna project is creating the connection, the bridge.
The program is really gonna impact the life of children in Palestine.
We care about children, wherever they are. And we're not gonna let a conflict interfere with that.
If there are patients, children, babies that we can help, I want to do that. And teaching nurses and physicians from Al-Muqassad is an extension of that.
This project not only develop our skills and our knowledge, it also help us to make some new friends and a new relationship.
I still believe in peace. It will come. And if what we're doing is contributing to that, great.
From all of us at Habonim Dror North America, Mazel Tov!
We're so excited that this new merger is happening and that the new organization, Ameinu and Americans for Peace Now, have both been huge supports for us over the years, and we look forward to continuing this partnership and being involved. And we're so excited for the new organization. From all of us at Habonim Dror again, Mazel Tov!
Our allies in the greater progressive world are such an important part of the work we do, especially in this past challenging year. Rana Epting, Executive Director of Move On, is a powerful voice for progressive policies and social change, as well as a great partner. We're so glad Rana has joined us this evening to offer some collegial words of support and strength.
Congratulations to our friends at Americans for Peace Now and Ameinu on becoming one fierce entity dedicated towards a peaceful resolution to the conflict between Israelis and Palestinians and the commitment to a better future. A future where justice, equality, and peace are the hallmark of a new era. This is a bold step at a critical moment for all of us throughout the world. Threats to democracy here and around the globe make the work to push back against rising authoritarianism and the hate that it weaponizes all the more relevant and essential to each of our futures. At Move On, we are committed to a future where the values of democracy, peace, and equality guide us. And we're delighted to be in strong partnership with our colleagues and allies at New Jewish Narrative. So congratulations, and we look forward to continuing the work with you.
Thank you, Rana. Now I'm pleased to introduce my dear friend, colleague, and NJN board member, Ken Bob.
It is my distinct honor today to introduce this year's recipient of the New Jewish Narrative's Peace Builder Award. Before he was born, I was already close friends with his mother, Vivian Silver, through Jewish student activism in North America, the reestablishment of Kibbutz Gezer, and more. As the years passed, Vivian also became a member of the Ameinu family, providing us with partnering opportunities through her activism in Jewish-Arab shared society work, as well as Israeli-Palestinian peace. It was then natural that she met with visiting Ameinu and Habonim Dror groups that came to Israel. The shocking and tragic murder of Vivian in her Kibbutz Be'eri home on October 7th, 2023 was devastating for friends and all the more so for her family. This includes our honoree, Yonatan Zeigen. That Yonatan has chosen to pick up the mantle of peace activist in response to this enormous loss is truly inspirational. I look forward to exploring opportunities for New Jewish Narrative to partner with him in the years to come. And now a few words from our 2024 Peace Builder, Yonatan Zeigen.
I want to thank and express my appreciation for New Jewish Narrative, not only for awarding me this prize, but for the fact that you have been doing the work for so many years, and for having the organizational flexibility to go through this transformation now in an effort to double down on impact. My own transformational process sadly began on October 7th, when I lost my mother, Vivian Silver, to the conflict. Like countless people before me, and tragically after me, we pay an unacceptable price to a completely preventable situation. One of the first realizations I had after October 7th is not one of despair or anger, but that it is not that we don't want peace because it is too complicated. Peace is complicated because we don't want it. And when I say we, I mean fundamentalist streams in both our peoples that gained enough political power and social legitimation that they were able to make up the dominant narrative that shapes our reality. This is not fate. I wake up every morning trying to identify the gap between the atrocious reality we are experiencing and, on the other hand, what can become an optimal reality, and contribute whatever I can to closing that gap. This past year has been pretty manic for me. Together with the NIF, we've established the Vivian Silver Impact Award. I've been talking to youth, to groups, in conferences and stages and in the media in order to shape discourse, reclaim peace and foster political imagination. I've been active with other organizations, such as the Parents Circle Families Forum and OLMEP, in order to re-energize and mobilize the peace camp. I'm working on a new initiative in the field of second-track diplomacy, and I've been knocking on official diplomatic doors in order to pressure the international community to pressure us, and acknowledge their accountability for the occupation and the conflict by synchronizing a mechanism to offer incentives for reconciliation and sanctions for warmongering. It's all a small part in a movement that wishes to write a new story for the region, one of a shared future, of the ability to live secure, liberated, and equal lives between the Jordan River and the sea. This isn't a fantasy for a better life. It's the only way life itself will endure. Thank you again for the recognition, and may we all be blessed in witnessing the fruits of our efforts.
This is truly why we are here. We are here in the name of peace, in the name of everyone who has struggled for peace and justice in Israel and Palestine, and in the US as well. We are coming together to meet this difficult moment, and in doing so, we are more united, we are stronger, and are committed to a better and more just future. And we are stronger because of you. You are our partners in peace. None of the work we do would be possible without your support. As we close out this evening, please take a look at your program. There is a page with both a QR code and a link to our donation page. Please consider making a gift of support tonight to New Jewish Narrative. We are excited about the future, about new collaborations and opportunities, and we want you to be a part of it with us. We want to especially thank the generous sponsors of this event tonight, whose names are in the program. And thank you all for your continued support.
Thank you for being with us tonight as we mark the launch of our new organization. We at New Jewish Narrative are committed to shaping a future where the values of peace, justice, democracy, equality, and progressive Israel values guide us all. We know these are difficult times, and this makes our work now more important than ever. We hope that in the coming weeks and months, you'll spend time with us. You'll learn more about our work, spread the word about us to others, and join us in the fights we have ahead. Your partnership is what will help us create a new Jewish narrative for a new day. And now we'd like to close out the evening with a song from our favorite young musicians. The Jerusalem Youth Chorus, we're sending you all warm wishes for the new year and for a better and more peaceful year ahead. Good night. Tisbach Alecher.
Laila Tov and Chag Chanukah Sameach.
And may the hostages and their families be united soon.
للجميع بلا تخوين بلا قطيع والأرض بالصيف وبالشتي تحملني وذنوبي وحسناتي عيلتي وحارتي نشرة أخبار ولسه بتحكي باسم الدار They say it's do or die
But when the day is done, what will be left behind?
Only you and me with our futures intertwined
We live within the wars, we feel each other's pain. Because of you I know we must choose a different way.
יש לה עיניים הכי עצובות בגן והיא עומדת בחובה שפעם הייתה גן ובוכה על כל אלה שאינם הילדה הכי יפה בגן בשערה עוד ריח השעה
Because of you I know we must choose a different way.